Opinion. Don't take it as fact. Well, it is fact, but you can. Hi, welcome to Self Evident Podcast. We are back from South Carolina in your streams, in front of your eyelids, and I know we're awesome, and so are you. Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
We are here to give you the news that's been happening nationally.
Is this Minnesota NPR?
Yeah. Have you guys ever watched? Dude, seriously, NPR in Minnesota is like, we were told that the state politics was going to change, but it's obviously not. So it's like, wow. Like the first 5 seconds, snooze fest. Like, dang.
And it's so true because growing up in Michigan, when I was in North Dakota, like you hear that heavy local accent on the local NPR radio DJ. They have not worked out that accent at all.
And that same person's been commentating for like 50 years. Like
guys 82 with oxygen tanks sitting next to him.
Oh, jeez. What's it gonna go there? So now this is where I get serious. I was this morning, I woke up. We just got back from South Carolina under some pretty intense warfare, I think, and just we'll explain a little bit more of that in a minute, but just I turned this song or this thing on. It was actually a little Instagram clip, and I couldn't stop listening to it as I was getting ready this morning and putting on my face, like you ladies say, which I don't do that. I'm not gay or transgender. Why am I even saying that? Anyways, we're power of the words. Listen to the sermons. So I started listening to the song, and I thought, why don't we put it out there and let it minister to you? So it's 30 seconds.
Start your morning off right.
Yeah, and just listen to it. Just soak in it.
Sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. Yeah. How great thou art, yes, how great thou. When I see him face to face, I want to sing this hymn. Come on, sing. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. Yeah. How great thou art. Sing. How great thou art.
That is probably my favorite.
I know,
favorite hymn of all time.
It just hits you because, so when we go to these conferences and we go speak, it's the number one thing we hear is like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. I have fear. I have this. And then I hear this hymn and I'm like, you have nothing to fear. You know what I mean? Like it just, he is God. He's the creator. He's the one who sets up kingdoms and destroys kingdoms. He's the one who cast out the son of, he was the one who cast out Lucifer from heaven and said, you don't belong with me. You don't have a part of me. He's the one who called you to the light. He's the one who empowered you by the Holy Spirit. He's the one who lived, died, and was buried and resurrected again for you. He was the one that chose you. He was the one that said, I'm going to adopt you. He was the one that put life and put existence and put passion into you. He was the one that put identity into you. He's the one who gave you everything. And it's like, who am I to fear man? So I'm listening to this song and it just like, I must have listened to it 10, 12 times in a row. Just let it sink in. And I go, we got to put this on the podcast. I mean, we've never really done that, but it's our podcast and we can do what we want.
Face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of
can't
fact,
tell me what to do.
Matter of fact, Elijah, play it again.
Sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. Yeah. How great thou art, yes, how great thou. When I see him face to face, I want to sing this hymn. Come on, sing. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thou art.
Just
Beautiful.
gosh, man, his
And
voice, dude.
Before before I get myself in trouble because I love to make jokes,
Same.
but I want to like keep certain things sacred. So it's like I love that. I want to move on before because in my mind it's always like, how can I make a joke, right? How can I have fun with something? But it's like that's sacred.
Yeah,
I
and
want to
I know-
leave that respectful.
I wondered if people, when I was queuing it up, thinking he's gonna play some corny song, and because
Right.
we always make jokes here.
Gonna play that other worship song. that
Yeah,
we
no,
Yeah.
don't do it.
did.
Well, did you see me lean over to Massey while I was playing?
No.
And I was telling Massey, I was like, I'm so tempted to play the other one after this, but I don't want to do that.
And that note, let's hear some words from our president. No,
Don't.
no. So guys, I hope that ministered to you. I know it may catch you off guard. You may have to go back
Yeah.
and listen to it. If you guys want to know where I got that,
So
it was Gateway Worship from Texas Gateway Church. Pastor Robert Morrison out there and stuff like that. Those guys they're incredible. But that fella, I think he does interim worship. Like he'll just kind of travel, but like that guy is pretty incredible.
Great.
So if you want to find that clip, that's Gateway Worship. And I just wanted to bless y'all. Like it blessed me as I was waking up, because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, sometimes not fear necessarily creeps in, but doubt maybe.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, got to go out and do it again and get up and going. But it's like you listen to that and you're like, who am I to fear? I didn't call me to this world. He did. So all I have to do is be submitted, obey, and walk in the authority he's given me. And that's it. And give people that thing too.
I think that's not, I know that's the power of worship, right? Because you get those 3 a.m. wake ups where like everything is just overwhelming. And you kind of wonder, man, the fear, the doubt, the overwhelming nature of the futility of all of it, like that stuff can hit. And something like this helps reset and realign you to, oh wait, no, God's got it. I'm with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're looking at me like
no. I'm just like
left field.
No, you're not. I wish we could say it that way. Like worship should get you to where there is no trepidation against the world. Like I don't fear that stuff. Do I fear death? No, not at all. Do I fear what they can do to me? Not really. I think the only thing I really fear is I just don't want to. I don't want to disappoint the Lord. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And well, is he disappointed? No, but I mean, it's like I don't want to not obey him. You know what I mean? That scares me. Like I want to be able to do everything, and that song just helped me get into the mindset of it. So, when we do the podcast, you guys are getting a lot of information. We do cut up a lot. It's fun for us. Also, though, I hope like even last night, I was sitting with my boys and I was sitting with Carrie, and I'm just thinking, dude, like, in order to raise godly families, we have to be ourselves, that thing, as best we can before the Lord, godly, that we're upright, that we're creating an environment for them to be honest and open and choose repentance rather than hiddenness. And I hope we have that here with you. I pray that, when we're here talking to you guys, that this is a place y'all could come and just be a part of it. No,
Joy.
there's no levels in like this stuff. There's no like, oh my gosh, they know more than this person. It's everybody throw your stuff in the pot and let's see where it sticks. And whenever you guys give us an idea to talk about, we talk about it. When you guys have good points, we talk about it. When you guys comment, we want to show them. We love having you a part of our team. We love having you guys listen. And I have no doubt that this thing will continue to grow and all that stuff. And we want you guys along for the ride. So you get what we get. If I'm doing some worship, sweet. You can't have my sweet potato pie, but you can get my worship. Anywho's, Friday, we said we were going to wait for more information to come out about this whole Trump indictment. And we did, but we thought it'd be good for us to talk about, and explain to you what's going on here. What's the nuts and bolts?
Here's what's happening.
What's the... None of this. This. Huh?
You may want to clarify what you mean.
I mean, the coming together of ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Wow. Anywho's, you do it.
So we're gonna
What-
give you. What was that?
I didn't do it. We do have our opinions. I love how your paper says this. So Trump, Mike writes all these things. Trump wrote this for us. He wanted us to speak for him.
100% endorsed by Trump. Not really, as you'll see later. We got a few things in here. Roll with us on this one,
It's
okay?
funny.
This we threw in some satire. We need a lawyer, so if any of you are a lawyer, I'd love to send some of my podcast maps to you, just to make sure we don't, get, a little.
Yeah. I help you. You help me. We are happy family.
It's like Russian Chinese all in one.
Just trying to be culturally insensitive.
You achieved that.
You achieved it. For sure. Rolled in it all into
in
one thing.
All right, so maybe you don't know what's going on. President Trump got indicted. And so we want to at least discuss with you, on top of everything else, what is an indictment? Because I think sometimes people just gloss over and look, oh, they found him guilty.
Yep.
That's
That's exactly it.
right. And to your point, like
When we were in South Carolina, we heard it all the time.
they
Like,
indicted him. They indicted
yeah,
him.
he's guilty and he's in jail.
Yeah,
It's like,
whoa,
whoa.
whoa, 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 whoa. What is an indictment first? It is an sentence of execution. I'm kidding.
Satire.
It's satire. All right. So when a person is accused of a felony crime, will be heard in federal courts, or serious state crime, the prosecutor will call a grand jury who will look at the evidence in the case and determine whether there is enough probable cause to go to trial. In other words, do we have enough evidence that this is worth a trial? An indictment means we believe there's enough evidence to go to trial. So Trump's next step is to go to trial for what he is being accused of. This is not a guilty verdict.
Good call. Thank you.
So calm down. Now, the idea of an indictment, there are a lot of people who are skeptical of this idea. We'll get into those facts of why people are skeptical of this whole indictment. But so once they decide you're indicted, the accused goes forth with a trial. Now, what's a grand jury and what's a lesser known name? Petite jury. So if you have not purchased our Constitution course, which you certainly can online at our website, www.theselfevidenttruth.com. Yeah, I plugged
First
it.
off, why haven't you?
What's going on?
That is the thing that we do. And if you've bought a
Teach.
shirt, buy the kit.
If you've spent a couple of bucks for a t-shirt,
What's another 200?
right?
That's what it is.
Come on. So the idea actually of a grand jury has roots back to ancient Greeks, all of that, but really it took form in the 1100s in England. Now, this was a system of gathering people of the community together to give names of those they believe to be guilty of a criminal
And
offense.
this is actually biblical. It comes from the judgment side of like the Exodus and Leviticus,
Yep.
where you needed a 2 or 3 witnesses. People would vote on it. When you would go out in front of the city, you would go in front of the elders. When you were accused of something, the elders would then determine. So it was kind of like judge / jury mixed into one.
right.
This was separated, obviously, in the 1100s time when we were starting to see, okay, maybe we should have one judge where the jury would report to that judge, that
Right.
kind of thing.
So that jury would decide, okay, does this person have enough evidence to be accused of a crime? So as the system progressed, then the role of the jury split in two. You had grand juries who would determine whether the accused should go to trial, and the petite was used to find guilt. Now, interesting fact, those grand juries in the Middle Ages were used to determine whether a person would go to a system of called trial by ordeal. Now, this is the Middle Ages. They would include an event like maybe holding a red hot metal rod. Now, if that wound from holding the red hot metal rod was healing well after 3 days, the person was considered supernaturally healing, and therefore they determined that God was presenting the person as innocent. If the wound was festering and getting infected and all of that, they were considered guilty and therefore would be executed or exiled.
It's a great way to do the job.
Right? Lord, heal this, please.
I was just crossing the street. I'm gonna die for crossing the street. I was jaywalking.
I swear.
You think about the Middle Ages, boy. It's like good.
Oh,
They didn't
man,
play.
they were
didn't
intense.
play, man.
Yeah, when you people are like, oh, our system is so corrupt. They put someone in jail for 2 years where they got meals and a bed and TV
And you can go to
classes.
you can go to college.
Yeah,
and jail.
cups of coffee whenever they want.
Dude, I wish we had our own stream deck where it's like, I want to just show someone getting their hand burned by the iron. These would be perfect little spot, wouldn't they, dude? We need our own stream deck. Like, just think.
Yes, we do.
Remember that scene from Home Alone when the robber grabs the doorknob that was
Yes,
jammed
yes.
and left the
That would have
imprint
been
of the doorknob?
perfect.
That would have.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
so
man.
if you guys want to give to our new studio fund,
Donation
self-evident
for
truth,
Stream
and
Deck.
earmark studio fund.
Stream Deck. And so, with this trial ordeal, other ordeals included walking over red hot plowshares, grabbing an item from a pot of boiling oil or water, and those who refused were considered guilty because, of course. So the Manhattan DA has actually determined that trial by boiling oil will be best for President Donald Trump, as the boiling oil will bring his orange hue to a nice crispy brown. KFC would be jealous. Bro, did I
Because the food is actually cooked.
did I
Hair will not be phased during process.
It'll encased.
Imagine this chicken with Trump's hair.
Crispy golden brown skin and then hair. I even put in my notes, bro. Did I just go there? Like, I'm typing this up at about 5:30 a.m.
One of the reasons we're doing it like this too is because, again, it's an indictment. Now, what I know personally about indictments is the judge will hear the lawyers, and it's up to the judge, really. So if the judge is unfavorable towards something, 9 out of 10 times it's going to go to trial.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, okay, dude, you're really stretching for straws here. We're not going to trial. You don't have sufficient evidence. So really, it's just like, okay, if he's indicted, this is where you who are decrying, oh my gosh, he's not guilty. Well, then pray that the judge looks favorably, right? You who think he's guilty, what you should be praying for is that justice would be done, not against the man, but for truth.
Thank you.
And I think this is where people get screwed up. They're all against President Trump. And it's like, you're fighting flesh and blood wars, not truth wars. And so, like, if he gets found not guilty, which I believe he will be, I don't think he'll be found guilty. But if he gets found not guilty and you start enraging yourself, then you're not willing to listen to truth. You're not trusting. Because if he be found guilty and all of you start rejoicing, oh, now you trust the justice system.
Right.
So either truth prevails or it doesn't. I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think he's going to get
Convicted.
no.
Yeah. It's
When you have the lawyer come out, his lawyer
Right.
come out and say, no, it's like precedent overrules a lot. And I don't even like that, but because precedent shouldn't rule over law, but
to your point, Alan Dershowitz recently came out and said, look, in any other jurisdiction, this case could be won by a first-year law student. He said the issue is it's in Manhattan, and so they're probably going to try and get a venue change, but Manhattan has shown itself to hate Trump, right? And so to your point of, like, there are accusations flying against the judge, against the grand jury, against the prosecutor, against people who will be in the jury for the trial, of like, no matter what is said, Trump's guilty.
And those who are for Trump getting prosecuted, they don't realize what they're doing. They're just setting him up for a win. Because, dude, when you go on a witch hunt and he's found not guilty, like you've done his entire administration, going after him for Russia collusion and all these other things, and it came up empty, and you kept trying to find something on him, and he still kept coming up empty. And then you guys are like, see, he did that one thing, though. And it's like, y'all didn't even want to look at Hunter Biden's laptop. Y'all didn't want to look at,
claimed it was fake.
yes. I mean, literally
Over and
came out
over
and
and
like, it's
over
not
and
even
over.
a story. You guys didn't even want to look at the simple things that were right in front of you. You had the evidence for months before the story even popped, and y'all didn't even want to look at it. So you want to talk about people who are guilty? You tell me who's more guilty. Dude who can't even put a sentence together. This isn't satire. Dude who can't put a sentence together trying to run the free world and people are literally hating America for it. Or dude who you've been trying to for months get on him because he tweeted bad. Because he was mean.
Because you don't like him, he's the
Right.
wrong party.
Because he actually exposed crap that was supposed to be exposed. That maybe, I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying President Trump was perfect at all. I think he did crazy things. I don't think I don't approve constitutionally.
We do not run out just to defend the guy.
No, gosh, no. You should hear all of our other podcasts.
Right.
Matter of fact, we get in trouble for those, for those who are Trumpites. We're not that at all, but we're saying that truth will prevail. And if you're really wanting truth, then pray for truth.
Right.
You who are Christians and you don't like him, pray for truth. Don't pray against the man. Pray for truth. Then let God do justice.
Amen.
You know, let God stand for it or be against it.
So let's talk about what is actually going on. What happened? So in 2018, Wall Street Journal reported that Michael Cohen, Trump's then lawyer, had coordinated a payment to Stormy Daniels of comic book fame. Oh, sorry. She was in a little bit different type of media and acting. So, this payment was $130,000 made a month before the 2016 election as part of an agreement to keep her quiet on an alleged affair. So Cohen ended up pleading guilty to a number of charges, which include campaign finance violations due to the hush payments made to Daniels and a scheme to keep another empowered woman of entertainment fame quiet, because Trump runs with the best, the highest standards.
Dude, okay, first off, what did you expect? That's
Right.
who this guy is. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
Can we
go for it. Go for it.
If you're a Trump apologist, a Trump supporter, can we at least just recognize the facts of these seem to be the type of people that Trump has run in circles with? Okay? And there really hasn't been a good disapproval of the fact that there's something happened between him and Stormy Daniels.
Right. Also, a lot of these guys that he runs with, they're businessmen. They're not politicians. They're not any of this stuff, which to me sometimes are the same thing. But hear me out. When Walmart shells out money for like things that come up against them, they don't settle because they might be guilty of it. They settle to shut up. I just don't even want to deal with this. The court, you're coming at me and accusing me. What's it going to take for you to shut up? Okay. I don't want to go to court. It's going to cost you too much in legal fees, cost me too much in legal fees. So it's like not always because they're guilty. They just do this. So it's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. And I'm not saying Walmart's doesn't get sued for righteous things. They should be. But I think they shell out like 11 billion something a year on fees and stuff like that and accusations and whatnot.
The higher you go, the more people want to take you out.
Exactly. And again, we're not saying he's guilty or not guilty. Let the truth play out. What we're saying is that just because someone was bought out or got paid does not mean anything except, dude, she's entertaining. She's this. She throws accusation. What happened to what's his name? Supreme Court Justice. Remember? Kavanaugh. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
They came out went swinging. You know,
Right.
woman's like at a high school party once. He did something because he was drunk in high school.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like this huge story. We never believe women. Ford was her last name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like they do all these things where it's like they just throw this stuff out there and hope it sticks on the wall. And it's like, first off, or was it college? I don't know which. I can't remember which one it was. But it was like that was 30 years ago. Okay, you feel violated. I get it. But that's what we're not going to look at, like forgiveness, redemption, sanctification. We're not going to look at, hey, he apologized. Had you come to him in private, he'd be like, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You know, and when I was a kid, I was ignorant. You know what I mean? None of that. You had to put it out there in the light. And now it was like all this show and how bad Kavanaugh is. And it's like, dude had a really nice family. You know, I'm not saying he was perfect. We didn't defend him at every turn. As a matter of fact, go and watch those podcasts. There was things he did wrong. But it was like, you're trying to mar the man's character from one lady. And then they had a couple more come. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what happens. The media just blows this up. And it's like, you know, he's guilty. He's guilty. That's all you heard. He's guilty. And it's like, nobody even thought about, hey, she might be lying. We don't know.
Right.
And the moment you said that, you hate women, And it's like just this weird divisive narrative.
And that's the problem on both sides is we don't know what happened with Stormy Daniels and this other woman. I didn't even put her name in there. Her name's in there in the articles, but we don't even know what happened between him and them. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards okay, something probably happened here.
It's Trump.
You know, it's Trump. You know, and that's where it's like to the Trump apologist and the Trump supporter. Let's not pretend this guy is a saint. Okay, let's because of course all the accusations flew out that they're just lying. They're trying to mar his character.
He kind of marred his own.
He kind of did it himself sometimes, but to the swing on the other side, like Massey say, like, okay, stuff happens. And of course, as soon as something happens, and we're going to get into this whole campaign finance law thing, as soon as something happens, it gets blown way out of proportion. Now, to that point, they've been going after Trump. Okay. His lawyer, they went after. His former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, was found guilty of tax evasion and bank fraud. They went after Trump's organization about everything. And so the Southern District of New York has decided that these payments to these two women constitute illegal, unreported campaign donations to the Trump campaign under federal campaign finance law. Now, the Southern District of New York seems to be championing themselves as the defender of campaign finance law. And they have determined that $300,000 spent from Trump's $433,392,727 raised won the election. This must have won the election because he paid off two women with $300,000. And we, as self-evident, we are excited for when they'll be announcing a thorough investigation of the Clinton and Biden campaigns. Boy, we are waiting on pins and needles for that one. Can't wait. The problem is that they're making an argument that is considered an in-kind contribution and were meant to aid the campaign by keeping the women from tarnishing Trump's sterling reputation. Sterling reputation. So the problem with campaign finance law is if you dig deep enough, you can find something. It's just like tax law. The IRS tax code is what, 170,000 pages or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of pages.
And I'm sure they added hundreds of thousands more. At some point, you have broken some law doing something. And so really the issue is they just have to dig deep enough to find something, make some connection, and they're off to the races on you. That's where our position on all of this is kind of like, look, to the progressives that are celebrating this whole thing, it's kind of like you're shooting fish in a barrel.
Yes.
With $433 million, you can't find something that was a little bit shady or issue in terms of campaign finance law. Come on, man.
I know. They're just really kind of, they're grabbing at every straw they can. They want to get this dude out, obviously, because he is so popular. It's what happens. Anytime someone gets popular, you got to mar his character to get them unpopular, right? Except if you're Crazy Joe and you, and I mean this, that guy. Okay.
Allegedly.
No, if you don't think that politics can be demonic, you're not paying attention.
Right.
This is outright demonic. What is happening? Destroying America's confidence destroying the world's confidence in America. Inflation, pushing transgenderism and all this other crap in schools, allowing and affirming sin from his stage, right? And saying it's okay to do that. Saying you're a Christian, and not standing up, buddy. If you don't think that demonic can't exist in politics, I'm telling you, it's right there. I'm saying that for the right too. There's plenty on the right that do it. There's plenty on the right that affirm this stuff. And no, that's not an opinion. That is fact.
Do you notice, and I just thought of this, do you notice all that conversation about the Christian school shooting? Nothing has been said, especially from the White House, about this being religious persecution.
Exactly.
But if this were a Muslim school,
oh my gosh.
Right? And
Dude, that's a great dude. See, it's like, because you can tell what the media is going to do when it's Christians.
What's the angle?
And then too, it's a transgender kid who shot it
Yep.
all up. So they're not going to go there. They're going to try to affirm.
And
first
the
thing they went
arguments
for
about
was
misgendering.
Yeah, and
Or mispronouns.
right,
you know?
right. And then also guns.
Yeah.
Go after the guns. It's the guns. It's a gun fault. I have friends, my old friends on Instagram and Facebook posting, more kids have died because of guns. Guns. Or it's like, and I posted, a gun cannot shoot itself. It's not, a gun cannot use itself.
Right.
Well, there's wickedness out there. Cool. So go after the wickedness.
Right. You're going after the tool that wickedness is using, and though you'll stop wickedness, who will find a different tool.
And dude, I wish liberals would get this too. And yes, this is a liberal issue. Criminals will always have guns. Dude, criminals will always have guns. They will find a way to have guns. Cartels will always have guns. Don't you get it? You can disarm the millions of us and say this is what we need to do. No, and I'm sorry, let me reverse that. You will not disarm the millions of us. The millions of us will keep our arms in the name of Jesus. We're not even trusting in the arm of the flesh, right? We're protecting our own, right? Because it's a right from God. So you won't disarm us. But you can try. You can try. But what you don't get is you're seeing short-sighted, and that's what they've gotten you to do, is see short-sighted. We need to now, because in the future, you're not looking long term. You disarm us. That's what you want to do. Who's going to protect your children when they get older? Who's going to protect them? The government?
The police, who you've already accused
Decried,
of being
wanted to
racist
defund?
and evil and discriminatory.
I want to use this quote. I was looking for this quote. John Adams said this. We, the electors, have an important constitutional power placed in our hands. We have a check upon two branches of legislature, and the power, I mean, of electing at stated periods each branch. It becomes necessary to each citizen then to be in some degree a statesman, and to examine and judge for himself of the tendency of the political principles and measures. Let us examine then with a sober, a manly, and a Christian spirit. Let us neglect all party loyalty and be avert to the facts. Let us believe no man to be infallible or impeccable in government or in any more than religion, right? Take no man's word against the evidence, nor implicitly adopt sentiments of others who may be deceived themselves or may be interested in deceiving us. What was he saying? Us who are the electors have a duty to be statesmen. He said, don't think that they're impeccable in politics and in their own personal lives outside of it. Like what he's saying is we have a job to do. And if we're not willing to hold these people, all of them, Republicans and Democrats, Trump is on trial before God, not just an indictment. All of our souls, dude, these guys want to be leaders. They're before the Lord. So we've got to be able to determine and judge that character. And it's not wrong to question character. It's like, dude, is that dude fit to be running the nation? Right? I mean, that's seriously, right. Is he the one to be presiding or not?
We've given up caring about character. We just care about display. We care about image. And so where character faults hurt image is where we care.
Exactly.
If it's the other guy. If it's not the other guy, but our guy, then it tends to be, how do I overlook this character flaw to keep the image of he's the person that needs to be in that position? Character matters. Fruit of character matters. And we pervert that necessity. And here's what I mean by that. We use it to our own aims.
Truth. Yeah.
Trump supporters will look at a person like Clinton and say, look how flawed her character is. Look how evil she is. How many bad choices she's made. So you care about character and principle. But then when the character or principle of Trump comes into question, you overlook it. And you say, no, that doesn't matter. I care about his policy.
You nailed it.
I care about what he's going to do for America. That character stuff, that's just an aside. You can't have it both ways.
Can't.
You've got to either care about the character and the policy, or don't care about the character at all and care only about the policy, and don't bring the character up then of your opponent. Only bring up the policy.
Come on. That is called, folks, rightly dividing the word of truth.
And I know it stinks, but it's true.
We can't be partial in judgment, the word says.
No.
Right? And many will say, well, he's not running to be the Pope or the pastor. No, but read Romans 13. He's a minister of God to thee for what? Good. They're ministers of God to thee for good. So we got to be careful who we elect. The founders talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
When you offer your vote, it's before the Lord. Choose men of good character, upright. Read Exodus. Was it 18? Is it Exodus 18:21? No, I don't think so. Yeah, it is Exodus 18:21. Where they were talking about choose men of good character, those who hate covetousness, right? All those other things, to place over thousands, fifties, hundreds, cents, all that stuff. Like you have to choose righteously. Now, President Trump, he's done some good things. We're not saying that. What we're saying is we don't do this whole all or nothing with
Right.
No, we're gonna call it out because, dude, it's important to.
And character matters to us because character will drive policy. And we've said it before with Trump, like to me, he's more of an opportunist. I'm not saying that, hey, I don't think the guy does good things, and I'm sure there are some people getting mad at me right now. That's fine. But Trump to me is an opportunist, right? So he
knows.
He knows where that space is to move forward in that space.
That's not a negative.
It's not necessarily a negative, but what you'll lose, what you lose on the back end of that is standing in conviction on policy, standing in conviction on principle. And you have to be aware of that if you are a Trump supporter, is there may be a point where he sells you out on this conviction or this principle that you have because the opportunity isn't there and the opportunity to go in a different direction is there. Standing in front of a pride flag and saying he's the most, I don't remember what gay Republican artist, something like that. Like the gayest ever. No, like he put
and he did it
full-throated support behind the gay movement. And
so I'm just thinking of him standing in front of the. So I'm he's kind of mad at me because I was like, the way you did that impression and more. Anyways, so we're also saying though too, if his character is marred, to your point, they'll do deals and do what it takes to get it done. Oh, we'll support this, right? But you better do this. So on paper, it looks good. Look what he did. But then back here, it's like, but look what you elevated and supported. That the principles we hold dear are not even being represented. So this is being represented at the same time. Evil and wickedness could be rising. I'm not saying Trump did that at every turn. That's what I'm saying. That's what happens if we don't check character, because character always has a part to play in any kind of negotiation, any kind of like talk or anything like that. I think too, this indictment, and you have this part in here. It says where we are now. Did you do that?
Not yet. No.
Why don't we cover that, because this is good.
Yeah, we can move past the Bragg stuff. So the DA is Alvin Bragg.
I was gonna say, can you just synopsize?
Yeah. So Alvin Bragg.
Synopsize.
This DA office has gone after Trump's people. They've been pushing in this whole thing, and I do want to point out. So people are saying, he's a Soros prosecutor. You make your own judgment. But in reality, Soros donated $1 million to the Color of Change PAC. During that same time period, Color of Change PAC endorsed and spent money backing Bragg's campaign. So ipso facto, Bragg is Soros' child. Kidding. We may need a lawyer, dude. We might need a lawyer.
Anyone want to represent us?
Yeah. Hey, we're here. Good luck. So people are saying, it's a Soros prosecutor. You wouldn't like this connection made on your end, so let's be careful about this connection.
Exactly.
Soros donated $1 million to this PAC. It doesn't mean he told them, I want you to support Bragg. Now, he might have. We don't know. But point of view, policy, direction, hey, they're probably aligning. So maybe Soros would have said, yeah, I like this guy. I like where he's at. But don't go saying that he is a Soros prosecutor, because his campaign had money donated to him from this PAC that George Soros gave $1 million to. Okay, so don't draw direct connections where there aren't necessarily direct connections. Again, we're trying to voice reason in this whole issue, because when you jump out and you make blanket statements like that, you end up looking like a fool.
especially with no evidence.
Exactly.
You know, you can say, "Oh, look, put the two and two together," but still, that
You can't.
yeah, like be careful.
That's like you going and buying a couple of bags of Oreos, and then all of a sudden people say, "See, you support the gay agenda because they have rainbow Oreos."
Ooh.
Hold on.
First off, I like my Oreo.
It's this just in. Massey supports the gay agenda.
Yeah, I mean, and take it even a step further. Oreos they put Oreos in the new ice creams, right? Because my kids get ice cream all the time, and it's like, do I support Oreos because Oreos are in this specific thing, and then
So
all of a sudden
therefore,
I
you
support the gay agenda?
No. Come on, you don't want them to make those connections about you. Don't do it about them. You can point out the evidence, but stop making
And
blanket conclusions.
I'm sure Color of Change isn't the best organization.
Probably not.
It's probably not. So.
If Soros supports them and they support this guy Bragg, we're probably on the position of, I don't really support their mission. Okay, so where are we now? This case has been in the works for a while, and it actually got dropped by this DA's office. The Justice Department looked into this and said, there's not enough here. We're not going forward with this. When it got dropped, so Bragg originally dropped it, the two lead prosecutors on this case resigned. One of them wrote a book criticizing Bragg and talking about how important this case is and how they need to go forward with it. So Bragg raised himself to being called out and said, all right, we're going after it again. So now they're going after it, and there seem to have been leaks, which of course is a felony, and we are patiently waiting for Bragg's office to, indict these leaks, but he will vigorously prosecute these leaks, of course. But the leaks seem to suggest 30 to 34 charges pending. Now, these charges are actually what it's being called is they're stacking, or they're bootstrapping them. They're basically trying to connect a bunch of little tiny misdemeanors together to create a felony in order to be able to indict and then go after Trump. So my thing is, if the Justice Department itself was like, look, there's not enough here. There's probably not enough here. And it's going to come down to trial where everything then can come out and people can recognize, okay, they're really stretching to try and go after this guy. Or, yeah, there really is a lot here and the Justice Department missed it. I kind of doubt the Justice Department missed on an opportunity to go after Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and a lot of people thought, okay, Bragg's he's grasping at straws.
And dude, if the Justice Department or the DA had any time on any one of us, they could find 15 charges. We probably did something wrong, not filing something to fix on our house, or you know what I mean? We filed our taxes late. They'll try to find anything, right? They'll pin you with anything. Like your kids, like my kids, they love running around barefoot. Oh gosh, I could hear it. Like they all walk around barefoot, right? You don't ever put shoes on your kids. That's a violation. We're going to send you to, you know what I mean? Like parental rights, and just, they can find anything on you. So this is why, to me, this is frivolous. And I don't think he's going to be indicted. I don't think he's going to get prosecuted. I just don't. If it does, it's a witch hunt at that point.
And it actually has been good for Trump's campaign.
It has been.
24 hours after the announcement, he raised $4 million, and $1 million of that came from first-time donors. And so,
holy smokes!
Yeah.
So you're saying all we got to do is get indicted?
We'll raise money.
New podcast room. Come for me.
And then we'll do 15 years in the gulag for making fun of the Democrats. Oh, sorry. We don't have gulag.
Once you've made your bed, and what is it? Sleep in it.
Sleep in it forever. Okay, we've already dealt with bed bugs. What's lice? Who cares?
Jeez.
So,
Lord help us all.
We're not saying that Trump did or did not break the law, but being realistic, it smells like a railroad job. The DA's office, the whole city of New York seems to have an obsession with finally nabbing the orange whale. So Captain Ahab would be proud of their efforts. That's for you literary fans out there. 2 people laughed. Justice Department went down this road before. It never went well. Man, they tried going at this. I find interesting. They tried going after John Edwards. Anybody remember that name? He was directly involved in covering up an affair that produced a child. Oh, by the way, his wife had cancer. And they couldn't make it stick. Huh. So this whole thing, Trump has Trump has an argument of saying, look, I was married. You think I want that getting out? There's so many areas where all Trump has to do is prove this wasn't about my campaign or my election. This was personal for me. That's all he has to do is show reasonable doubt that it was a campaign issue and not a marriage issue or a personal privacy issue. Okay.
Got it.
Timing, coincidence of timing that you've got to have a lot of evidence for that
But,
coincidence
dude,
of timing to be considered the sole cause.
You want to know why I think personally this is all a ruse? This is all you've gotten on him in 8 years or
Right.
7 years. This is what he paid off some person who's in the adult entertainment. Is she?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Stormy Daniels because I don't read that crap.
That's why you didn't get the Marvel joke. Because
No, I didn't. I don't. I know that she, came out against him and stuff. Like I don't know. I don't research
porn star, stripper.
porn star or whatever. Okay, that's what you got on the dude in 7 years. After all the times you've thrown mud on the wall to see what would stick, it just kept falling off and falling off and falling off and falling off. He paid some stripper person 130 grand to shut up. It's like, that's what you got? That right there? That's what you're like, grand scheme. This is what we need people to do. Oh my gosh, they're going after Trump. Scheme it. This is what you need to be telling your folks and friends and family. That's all they got? That's it? From a New York businessman, shrewd dude, by the way, had 4 marriage. Was he marriage number 4?
3, I
3 or
think.
4,
Yeah.
right? You can tell ethically, guys, probably not, in his past, he was probably doing some stuff behind the scenes.
Blasphemy.
Well, no, listen, he's the one who joked about grabbing women's privates. And you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you didn't think.
He's had 3 marriages.
Now, here's the crazy thing. Stormy Daniels paid her off, had an affair, blah, blah, blah. That if that's what all happened. And you never focus on what he's done for women. How many women have been elevated in his companies? What he's done to help others. Like you'll say what a terrible man, because he does what he does. It's like, man wasn't a saint. He just wasn't a saint. Now, I agree. He's got some flaws. He's got character flaws for sure. But it's like, this is it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how many of those people prosecuting him right now are watching porn? It's so prevalent, dude. The Pentagon, there was like 5,000 or something people they busted on their computers with porn, child porn, all this other stuff. Where was that story?
Right.
So he pays off some stripper hooker who's going to go public, right? Because she's so well known to shut up, right? I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is it. That's that. Out of all the crap you could have got him on, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You are digging for straws, and that's what we just need to blow this up. I mean, it's grand scheme it.
It's a political railroad job. They're trying to find something, and we can't look at it as just Trump does what he does. Like, you on the conservative base have to recognize character, and you also have to recognize on the other side of things, is this being overblown? Because we could look into Biden, we could look into Clinton, we could look into Bill Clinton, right? Like,
oh gosh,
right? So
game recognized game, yo.
We hope you guys got something out of this. We hope that you learned something. Most of all, let's see what happens. Let's see what comes out of all of this. So until then, guys, do not forget to go to theselfevidenttruth.com, get yourself some merch, and be sure to read the blog. We've got awesome things for you in store. If you're in Ohio, we're coming for you a couple of weeks. So until then, love you guys. Have a great day.